Yo, what is up everybody? In today's video, we're gonna learn how to edit like Ali Abdaal. I'm gonna be teaching you guys how to make this recent edit from his YouTube channel and obviously his famous paper unfolding effect. As always, all the assets used in this video are gonna be down in the description for you guys to download and follow along for completely free. Also, I'm giving away an extra Ali Abdaal assets pack for free. Make sure you guys watch the entire video because there'll be letters throughout the video that is spell out a free code. And all you gotta do is to combine those letters together and go to the checkout section on Gumroad and put it in there. The link to the Gumroad will also be down in the description as well. And yeah, let's cut the bullshit and get straight into the video. Before we're gonna work on the actual animation itself, I'm gonna teach you guys how to do the Ali Abdaal paper folding effect in Capcut. Okay, the first thing you want to do, you want to open up a new project, and this project is specifically only for us to do the paper folding effect, and then for the actual animation we're gonna do it in a separate project. Anyways, you want to drag the Ali Abdaal assets pack in here, go to paper folding assets, and the first thing you want to do is to drag one of the assets here, and I'll probably do the dog. You want to cut it at around 1 second, and then what you want to do next is you want to drag the yellow background below the dog, and then obviously you want to cut it at 1 second too. You want to make it below, so we want to adjust the layer a little bit. After that, you want to drag the paper unfolding effect on top of everything, and we're gonna key out the red color. Go to cutout, chroma key, color picker, and then you want to select the red color and put it up to 100 for the strength. Now you should have something like this. You might want to play around with the position and the size for your asset. I kind of want to make it a little bit bigger and put it to the left a little bit. And now you want to go back to the paper folding assets, and then you want to drag the dog background. Same thing, you want to cut it around here. Now you want to disable the yellow background and then the paper unfolding effect. And all you want to do now is to basically adjust the position. But I think everything looks pretty good right now. I want to make the dog a little bit bigger. And let's see what we have now. And the last thing we gotta do is to remove the yellow background because we don't want a yellow background here obviously. So you want to drag the black background below the yellow background. Make sure you go to the layer and then put it as 1. And now you can't see the black background. And now you want to make a compound clip of all the layers other than the black background. Create a compound clip. And we're gonna go to cutout, chroma key, color picker. Select the yellow, and you want to adjust the strength a little bit because now it's like eating up some of the colors on the dog. You want to put it down to around 3 to 4. It looks pretty good. And now you should have something like this. And I'm not gonna do the rest because it's basically the same thing. You want to undo the compound clip, and then you're just gonna replace the assets. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the actual animation. After you've opened up a new project, obviously you want to drag the raw video on your timeline first, and then the first thing we want to do is the green background. You want to go frame by frame to when it starts appearing, and you want to drag it here, and you want to go frame by frame to when it stops moving. It's kind of hard to see, but I guess somewhere around here. Then you can make a keyframe here and then go back to the beginning, and you want to make a keyframe all the way up there so you have something like this. And then we're going to play around with the keyframe. Go to the Y position, and we're gonna highlight the end keyframe, and then you want to use easel 2, and you want to go tweak it a little bit.
That a lot of non-fiction books will get.
Something like this is pretty smooth. I kind of like it. Okay, now we're gonna start doing the one and only Mr. Robert Kawasaki's animation in the video. Go frame by frame, and then as soon as he pops up, that's when you want to drag it here. First thing you want to do, you want to go to auto cutout and then just cut it out. You want to make this effect here, and it's pretty simple to do. All you got to do is go to cutout, and then you want to go to offset stroke, and you want to put the horizontal to 59. It's pretty similar now. And you want to change the color. Go to color picker, and then boom. And you want to rotate it by around 2 degrees. And for the scale, you want to put it up to 141. And you want to align it somewhere like this. It's pretty good. And you want to go frame by frame to see when it stops moving. Somewhere around here. That's when you want to make a keyframe, and then you want to go back to the beginning and then just put it down. Put it all the way down.
That a lot of non-fiction.
And you want to right click it and go to show keyframe animation. You want to go play around with the keyframes a little bit. Go to Y position, and then we'll highlight the end keyframe, and then we'll use the same thing, easel 2. Something like this is pretty good.
A lot of non-fiction.
And then we're gonna add a play pendulum effect to it, because as you can see in the original video, after the animation is done, you can see that the character is like moving a little bit, and that's exactly what we're gonna do right now. So you drag play pendulum effect to Robert Kawasaki, and then you want to put the twist to 5, and then strength to 6, sharpen to 0, and then speed you want to put it to 90. So it's gonna be something like this.
That a lot of non-fiction books will get. Of like, oh, this could have been a blog post.
Moving on, we're gonna do the books animations.
That a lot of non-fiction books
And as always, the first thing we want to do, we want to go frame by frame to when a book starts appearing. We're going to do the rich that pour that first. Then you drag onto here. You might want to disable it. And then you go to a point where it stops moving. And we're going to make a keyframe there. Somewhere around here is pretty good. And now you want to change some of the properties of your asset. You want to uncheck uniform scale. Put the width at 41% and the height at 36. Now you want to position it somewhere around here, and you want to make a keyframe on the scale, the position, and the opacity as well. Now you want to go back to the beginning, and you want to put the scale at 20 or maybe even smaller. See where it is? It's here. You might want to put it at around 12. It's pretty good. And then for the opacity, you want to put it down to around 65. And there you go. Now we have something like this. And before adjusting the keyframes animations, we're gonna do the other books first. Okay, so let me disable this, and we're gonna do the Atomic Habits book first, probably around here. You want to drag it under the rich dad pour that book, and we're gonna change some of the properties first. For this one, you want to go to adjustment and put down the saturation to around -25. I'm trying my best to make it as similar as the original video. And then uncheck uniform scale as always, and put the width at 52 and the height at 49%. You also want to rotate it by -25, and you want to go to a point where it stops moving, somewhere around here. You want to position it, and you want to make a keyframe on the rotation and the position. And now you go back to the beginning, you put the rotation back to 0, and then you want to position the book right in the center. It's not gonna look that good right now because we have to tweak some of the keyframe animations, but that's what we have for now. It's not that good, but we're gonna do the third book, same thing, somewhere around here. And for the saturation, this time you want to put it to -18. Go back to the basic, rotate by 17%, and uncheck uniform scale. For the width, you want to put it at 34, and for the height, you want to put it at 33%. And now we're going to position it, stops moving somewhere around here, and boom. And now you want to make a keyframe on the rotation and position. Go back to the first keyframe, put the rotate to 0, and put the position back to the center.
Non-fiction books will get of.
And now we're gonna work on the keyframe animations of the books. But first thing, you want to put the 48 laws of power. You want to put it below the rich dad pour that book. And yeah, we're gonna go one by one. Okay, first off with this one, you want to right click it and then show keyframe animation, or you can press Option K or Alt K if you have a Windows. Go to the Y position, and then you want to highlight the beginning keyframe, the first keyframe that you made, and then go to graphs, and we're probably going to use ECL2. I think it looks pretty nice, and we don't have to change the X position because it didn't change. You also want to go to the scale, and then we're going to do the same thing, ECL2, perfect.
And that a lot of non-fiction.
Okay, now you want to close it, and we're going to do Atomic Habits. Okay, this time you want to do the X position as well. So highlight the first keyframe, and then this time we're going to use ECL2, ECL3. I don't think we have to tweak it anymore. I think it looks pretty good. And then do the same thing for the Y position and the rotation as well.
Non-fiction books will get.
Go to rotate, same thing.
Non-fiction books will get.
And then we're probably going to use ECL3 for the laws of power as well. And I'm probably going to skip over it because it's the same thing. Okay, now we're gonna apply the moving effect on the books as well. But before doing that, you actually wanna drag the Mr. Robert Kiyosaki. You wanna drag it on the top so it's gonna be in front of everything. And for the effect, it's basically the same. You wanna go to video effects, and then you wanna look up play pendulum, and you drag it onto the books. And for the settings, it's gonna be the same: 5, 6, 0, 90. And now you should have something like this. And we're gonna work on the transition part where all the animations go down, and then you can see the paper animations start popping up, and then a tweet here. Yeah, a lot of things going on, but yeah, we're gonna do it. The first thing, you wanna highlight all the layers, all the books, and then the character. You wanna right click and create a compound clip, and now you wanna go frame by frame. See when it starts moving, starts going down, probably around here. You wanna make a keyframe on the position, and then disable it, and see when it stops moving. I'll say somewhere around here, and yeah, you just gotta drag it down and try to match the position. Somewhere around here is pretty good. And go to the keyframe animation, go to Y position because the X position didn't change. You want to go to the end keyframe here, and we're gonna use ease into.
Of like, oh, this could have been a blog post. Oh.
And then we're gonna play around with it. Okay, I think this looks pretty good. we're gonna hide the keyframe animation, and then we're gonna go down here, and then we're gonna select motion blur and just basically wait for it. In the meantime, we're gonna start working on the paper unfolding animations. You wanna drag it here. We're gonna do the owl first. Yeah, for this one, we're gonna crop it out. Somewhere like this. And then you gotta get rid of the black background here. And we'll use auto cutout. And then we're gonna chop up the video to probably around this point. Go back here. Drag it here, and kind of just want to play around with the position and the scale of it. Probably rotate it by around 2 degrees. I think it looks pretty good right here. It looks a little bit big, but we're gonna put our tweet over it, so it's gonna cover a big part of it. And yeah, we're gonna basically do the same thing for the eyes animation. Go to auto cutout and then cut it out and try and position it. And as you can see, it's a little bit too short. And basically what you gotta do is go to the last few frames here, and then you right click it, go to edit, and then press freeze frame. Now you can drag it as long as you want to, but the animation is this long. And yeah, we're gonna do the same thing for the dog sequence. And as always, we're gonna apply the same play pendulum effect on the paper unfolding animations too. You just drag it here and then put in 5, 6, 0, and then 90 for the speed. And you gotta do it for every one of them.
Yeah, of like, oh, this could have been a blog post, or this could have been a tweet thread, or something like that.
Yeah. Okay, right now we're gonna work on the tweet here. You wanna drag the asset on the timeline as always, and it's not gonna look exactly the same as the original one because I don't know how he made it. Anyways, first thing you wanna do is to uncheck the uniform scale, and then you wanna put the width at 95 and the height at 105%. And then you wanna go to mask and rectangle. Basically, you wanna mask out the shape here. You have to be a little bit more precise, and you want to go to rounded corners and put it to somewhere around 35%. So now you can have the rounded corner effect here. And if you look at the original video, you can see a little bit of drop shadow effect around the tweet as well. Unfortunately, in Capcut there's no drop shadow effect, so we'll have to do it manually. The first thing you want to do is to copy and paste the tweet. So Command or Control C and then Command or Control V, and we'll go to the bottom layer, and then we're going to change some of the properties of the scale. We're going to put it down by 1%, and then we're going to put it at 100% for the height. Okay, now you want to go to adjustment, and then you want to put everything down basically to -50. You want to make it as dark as possible, and then just position it somewhere like this. And you go back to the basic, and then go to opacity and put down the opacity to somewhere around 12%. It's pretty good. It's really subtle, but you can see it. And now you want to drag the 2 layers here, and then you want to drag it to a point in your timeline where there's nothing on your timeline, because we're going to export it. But before exporting it, you want to go to the library, media, and then library, and you want to look up green. We're going to put a green screen under it, and obviously you want to drag it so it covers the full screen. And the whole purpose of this is you want to remove the background, and green screen is the easiest thing to remove. And now you want to export it. After you're done exporting the green screen, obviously you want to drag it back to your project, and you want to drag it onto your timeline, and somewhere around here, that's right before the tweet appears. Go to chroma key and then key out the green screen, put it up to 100, and you probably want to position it first. You want to put the scale to 85%, and then you're going to move it. And now you want to keyframe the scale and the position, because we're going to try to replicate the pop-up effect here. And then you want to drag to a point where the scale is the biggest, also somewhere around here. And you want to put the scale to 120%. You also want to put it down, adjust this position a little bit, and then it's going to go back to normal size like here. And you basically do the same. Put it back to 100 and then drag it back up like here.
This could have been this could have been.
And go to the keyframe animation. You want to highlight the first keyframe, and then you want to use ESL2, and then you want to highlight the end keyframe. Now you want to put in ESL2 as well.
This could have been.
And you basically do the same thing for the X and the Y position. And now you should have something like this.
This could have been a blog post, or
last but not least, we're gonna do the text effect here.
Post, or this could have been a tweet.
Yeah, all you gotta do, you wanna go to text, drag a text here, and then you just wanna put a bunch of dashes. Go to character, put it to -4. Now you wanna uncheck the uniform scale and just make it taller. Okay, see what we got here? Okay, it's big enough to cover all the text, and you want to extend it, put it to around here. And now you want to make a compound clip of the dashes. Create compound clip, and you want to go to mask, horizontal, put it at 90 degrees. You want to rotate it by 90 degrees. Make a keyframe on the position. Go back to the original video and see when it stops, when the effect is done. somewhere around here. And then you just drag it all the way to here. I'm gonna change back the Y position to 13. And now we're gonna open the keyframe animation, go to position X because that's the only thing that has changed. And we're gonna use ease into and then ease out to.
Or this.
You just want to play around with it basically. And if you combine everything together, now you should have something like this. Now we're gonna make some final changes. You want to put the dog animation above the green screen, so it's going to cover the tweet. And if you look at the original video, there's like a glitchy, laggy effect on the whole animation sequence. And I found a way to do it in Capcut too. You want to go to effect, and then you want to search up an effect called FPS lag. And I think that's only available on the Pro version. And then you want to put the speed to around 20. Now you have something like this. And that's it for today's video. If you guys want the extra Ali Abdaal assets pack, you guys should have the code already. And all you gotta do is to put the code in the link in the description, and you can get the assets pack for completely free. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give me a sub, give me a like, and let me know in the comment section what tutorials you want to see next. And other than that, I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.